What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Alright, it's gonna be a quick little video, right? This is gonna be about how to backtest. Okay, now there's two different ways that you can backtest the markets. Okay, so this particular video is from one of the members in the Discord that asked me how do I go about backtesting and how do they backtest, how should they backtest, right? Well, first of all, when it comes to backtesting, you want to make sure you have a plan already, right? Do you have certain rules already? If you don't, establish some rules, right? So before you even get into backtesting, establish some rules, right? They don't have to be the most perfect rules or whatever. That's what backtesting comes in, right? So establish some rules. You can say, okay, I'm not gonna look for an entry until I see a break of structure, right? Or I'm only gonna look for an entry inside of this specific time zone, right? So once you have that rule, to confirm that rule and add it to your trading plan, right, you want to go back test that rule. All right, just because you say that you're only going to look for entries inside this specific time zone or whatever, does it work, right? You want to prove that rule. Okay, you want to prove that that rule works and that it works for you. So in order to prove that, you want to go in the markets, right? You want to just go in and backtest. All right, so a perfect example I would say is just what I was saying. You're only going to trade in this time zone, right? So now go in, go in a random pair, right? A pair that you probably like, right? Most likely choose the pair that you like. Okay, go in the pair that you like, and then only look for entries inside of that specific time zone that you set, and see if are there entries in there. Do entries occur in there? Just look at it. Keep looking. Keep looking. If it works for you, and you see that there's some entries in there that you can catch, and everything in there looks good, then that's cool. You backtested it. It works for you. Now you know that it works, and you're good with it, right? And you can backtest it more if you want to from other pairs or whatever. But the key thing is here, I want you to get from me, is that you need to have something to backtest, right? So, like I said, there's mainly two different ways of backtesting. You can backtest to train your eyes, or you can backtest for a purpose, right? The first thing that I talked about was a purpose. Okay, so the purpose was to see if you were going to get entries inside this specific area or inside the specific range. All right, so another purpose could be, let's say you have this whole pullback right here, right? You have this whole counter trend, and this is a counter trend because 4 hour is bullish from this low to this high, right? We broke 4 hour structure here, so once we reach here and we start going down, this whole thing down here is counter trend. Now, if I'm going to backtest this, I'd say, okay, I am going to decide to backtest this counter trend move right here. Okay, now what I would do is I would go right here and I'd go back. Once I go back, I'll go to my time frames, and I'll just start playing the market out. Play the market out, stop the market, mark out your structures, mark out your areas, mark out your points of interest. Where are you looking to get in, right? You already know the market's going down, so you're already aided, right? You've already seen that the market's going down. Now you have to see, where did the market react off, and where could you have possibly caught an entry. One thing I want you to do when you're trying to backtest, don't cheat yourself. Okay, that's the key thing. Don't cheat yourself. So you need to know what time you trade, what time you do everything. So that's why I'm saying having a plan, having some type of rules is necessary. What time do you trade? What pairs do you like? What type of candles do you look for? Everything. You want to know everything before you go into backtest. You want to know what are you going to actually backtest, right? What are you going to actually backtest? Because that's the purpose of backtesting, to learn and to validate your rules. Okay, and to see what works and what don't work. So mark out your point of interest. Mark out your rules. Where do you look for entries at? And then what you do is do that. Once you have your rules, you apply that to the market, right? See what worked, what didn't work. Write it down. Mark it up. Mark out your losses that you take. Your main goal here was to trade this counter trend, right? So as this is going down and you're seeing these little structure points happen, you're seeing all of this happen, trade this, all right? Do not cheat yourself, right? So let's say the market reversed from here, right? You know that there was no entries that you could have caught here. Okay, let's just say there was no entries that you could have caught right here. Do not cheat yourself and go in and say, okay, I would have looked at whatever so and so, right? Don't go in and say, okay, in this scenario, right? In this scenario, I could have, sold the market here or whatever. Don't do that. That's a waste of your time. Could have does not helping you. Would have you taken the trade here? Yes or no? If you wouldn't have, don't look at it, right? That's cool. Look at the areas that applies to your rules. Look at the things that applies to your rules, and don't go in and try to catch everything. Right? Trade it as you're regularly trading the market. It's for you to learn. Okay, so this is the approach that you want to have when you're going for a purpose, right? Whether it be you want to learn how to counter trade, or you want to just learn how to get your entries better. How do you do that? Well, go in, look to see where entries actually occurred, right? So in this case right here, an entry actually occurred. Now what do you do? You go back, you go on lower time frames, and you see what entries could you have caught in here. You know, what was your entry here? What applies to your rules? What could you have done here, right? When you actually see in the real-time markets, you know what to do in this scenario, right? So that's the key. So purposes you can have. You want to learn how to counter trend, right? You want to see what type of entries that occur in counter trend, right? You want to see what type of entries that occur in pro trend. You want to see what entries look like in general. You want to see what's the best type of entries for you. You want to see what's the best times that the market gives you your type of entries. You want to see what's the best times that the market reacts in certain areas. You want to see how the market reacts off of certain areas, right? You want to see what type of accumulations occur. You want to see how the accumulation looks when it occurs in a certain area. It could be anything, right? Just make sure you have a purpose when you're going in and backtesting. Don't just go in and backtest for no reason. Now, that's a whole different type of backtesting, right? And we're going to talk about that now. So this is the purpose backtesting, when you're looking for a specific something. You're trying to validate something, okay? You're trying to see something in the market. You're trying to prove something by your trading plan. Right, so that's the first type of backtesting, when you're trying to prove something, right? Don't just going in without anything, okay? Don't just go in thinking, okay, I'm gonna just try to trade this and this. Nope, have your rules right by you. When you're backtesting, have your rules right next to you, and go in and see what applies to your rules and what don't. Right, write everything down, okay? Make sure you write everything down. Where you entered, where did you put your stop loss, where did you exit, where did you take this trade at? What did the trade look like? What did the candle look like? What was the structure? You got to write down everything, guys, because when you do this, you're going to get more accustomed to this, and you're going to train yourself to see these setups more. So let's say you want to learn how to counter trend. You go in and you learn how to counter trend this, and then you go in another market, you find another counter trend, and you trade that whole range. Right? You keep doing that, you're going to learn how to counter trend. So once you see that happening in the real time, you're going to learn how to adjust to it. You're going to see it quick. All right, so that's the one type of trading when you're going for a purpose. The next one is to train your eyes. Now, when it comes to train your eyes, right, you don't want to cheat. And what do I mean by cheating? In this scenario, right, let me see. So what do I mean by cheating? In this scenario right here, we know that the market is going down. So technically we're cheating. If you want to train your eyes, you can't know what's going to happen. You don't want to know what's going to happen. Okay, so when doing this, you want to simulate as if you're trading live. Okay, so we're going to have to go to a whole other market because we kind of already know what's going to happen on AU. All right, so you want to go to a market that either you haven't looked at in a while, or, you know, just you haven't looked at in a couple of days, that you could just, you know, just you can't easily guess what's going to happen, right? So immediately when you get to that market, right, let's go to exit this out, and we're going to go to another market. I'm going to show you exactly how we go about this, right? So we'll go, let's say we go to USDJPY, right? We'll go to USDJPY, we immediately we do this in the market, okay? Squeeze it all the way down. All right, next, you go back, you go to a random place, random area. Don't think about it, just click somewhere random. Boom, once you do that, you fix it. You go down to your time frames or whatever, whatever time frame you want to look at or whatever, and you trade the market as if it was live. Take notes on everything, guys. What time is this happening? What time is the market reacting in this place? What time are you currently right now? Where are you looking at? Is the market in the supply area? Is it not? Is it a demand? Is it not? Right? What type of candle is it? Is it a sponsor candle? Does it look clean? Right? What minute time frame is the sponsor candle? You know, what time frame did you go on to look for it? You know, all that type of stuff, guys. What's the structure? What's the intraday? What's the lower time frame? You want to make sure you know everything. Why? Because when you get those winners, okay, when you get those winner trades, once you start seeing winning trades as you're doing this and you're simulating live, you're going to find key characteristics to where you see why you win certain trades. So you're going to see that there's going to be similarities, right? You're going to see some things point out. It's going to be repetitive. Like you're going to see, okay, I won this trade here because it was this time, but I just won the 5 last trades because it was during the exact same time. Now you know that that time frame right there gives you more winning trades. Now you can shift your trading rules to where, okay, now I'm only going to look in this time frame, and now you see, if you understand what I'm saying, you see where I'm going with this, right? That's what you want to do. You want to write down everything, see where you win, see where you lose, and then you're going to get repetitive losses. When you see those repetitive losses, you're going to notice that, okay, I do this too much and this is why I'm losing. Now you can eliminate that and you can cut down your losses. All right, that's the best way to backtest, guys. If you guys want me to go more in depth in this, I'm going to do it for the Discord. But I wanted to give an overall view because I think this is going to help the YouTube too. But reach out to me. You know who you are, bro. Let me know in the Discord if this was enough for you. If this wasn't, then I'll go more in depth and that'll be exclusive to you guys. But I hope you guys from the YouTube actually gain something from this. Right? I mean, there's going to be another video for you guys. So this was for everyone overall, because you know everyone needs to know how to backtest, right? All right, so peace out, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video.